Welcome to another episode of the More Than Love podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Bafo.
What's going on, Jay?
Not much, man. Ready to get into another good show tonight.
Yeah, man, I think we got a pretty good show lined up, man. Tonight we're going to be talking about trust issues and insecurity. Two very hot button items when you're talking about relationships. Whenever we talk about cheating, we talk about insecurity and all the things that come along with it. So tonight we'll be going over some signs of insecurity and some of the drama that trust issues can create for a relationship. I have a brief interview with somebody that I met on social media, Jeremy Holloway. He's an actor from Memphis, Tennessee that does skits and different things on social media pertaining to relationships. So we'll be getting his perspective on privacy, going through phones, etc. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But we like to start the podcast off with a segment that I call Terry's Top 3, where I basically highlight and elaborate on 3 of the most popular posts from my Instagram page at Terry Duran. So we got a couple of real interesting posts this week to discuss, Jay. All right, so the first post that I want to talk about is a post that somebody sent me that said, it said, I need advice. My son's father committed suicide last night. I'm remarried to my soulmate. However, my son's grandparents have been like parents to me for 21 years. My son and I stayed with them last night, and I'm staying with my son tonight. My husband is very upset that I'm not putting him first and staying at home because he's my ex's parents. In 3 years since I've been with my husband, I've never spent a night away from him. He got so mad at dinner that he left me at a restaurant with not enough money to pay the tab. Parentheses, my card was in his wallet. I worked that out, but I'm asking for advice. Am I wrong for my son's family in this tragedy, or wrong for leaving my husband to be with my son and his fam? Now, in my opinion, I think her husband is being very immature and childish in this scenario. You're talking about death, right? So her son's grandparents are dealing with the fact that death in any sense is rough, right?
Exactly. That's her son's father for that matter, you know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
this isn't not just an ex-boyfriend, of years past, they have a kid together, so.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, obviously her son's going through it.
Right. She's probably going through it. I'm pretty sure she cared about the man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So for him to be that inconsiderate, to act like the person that you gotta have a child with just committed suicide, and you mad that she's not making you the priority? Like, bro, grow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're an adult, bro. This is one of the moments where you're supposed to be the rock of the family. You're supposed to, you know what I'm saying, like, be her source of strength. Help give her what she needs to help her son and the extended family. Because, okay, she clearly stated these people have been in her life for 21 years. So if you've been
obviously.
Right, you know what I mean? So it's not like she's cheating on you, dog. The man that's a threat is the one that's deceased. So for him to act like this and create all this drama, like she's already in a crisis situation. And so for your husband, who you think she believes is her soulmate, to be creating chaos and additional pressure and drama, that's not the sign of a quality man. And I seriously doubt that that's your soulmate, even if he's creating this type of turmoil and handling a sensitive situation like this with this level of maturity.
Right. And to stick with the restaurant bill, that just makes you look small and petty doing
well, I don't know if he necessarily did that intentionally with her. She said her debit card was in his wallet. So, but still, the fact that you just stormed out and had a temper tantrum in a restaurant is a major problem. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't do anything that violated the terms of your marriage or disrespected you in any way whatsoever. So for him to take it to this degree where it's essentially giving her ultimatum, you can either choose to comfort them or be with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, type situation. And I think that's just very uncalled for.
And we touched this last year. I think that's just another scenario where it has more to do with his insecurity than anything.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's tonight's topic. So we'll discuss it a little bit in more depth a little bit later. But that's definitely one of the signs of an insecure person. This type of behavior where there is no threat. She's not doing anything to be with no other man.
What does he think she's gonna do? Sleep with her son's father? Sleep with his father or something?
Right. I mean, I have no idea what
is she gonna do here?
What the thought process is. But this next post also involves a little insecurity, but I think the insecurity in this scenario seems warranted. Sorry. So this says, my wife named our son after her first love, and I had no idea. So it said, this is my throwaway account because she knows my main account. My son is 5. About 2 days ago, we were out shopping and ran into a high school friend of hers. She was catching up when she told her friend that we had a son. When the old friend asked his name, my wife hesitated, and I told her. She had a strange look on her face, then said, you mean like your ex-boyfriend? Our son's name is very unique to the point that I've never met another person with the same name. Now she refuses to talk to me about it. I feel betrayed and disgusted with her. It's like a switch was flipped in my mind and I just can't look at her the same way. Now, this situation is very, very disrespectful to her man in a variety of different ways. Now, there's nothing with choosing whatever name you want to choose for your child. As long as you discuss it with your spouse. You know what I mean? Like, she can say, I had an ex named such and such, and I really love the name. How would you feel about naming our son that? Because for her to just take the decision and completely make it her own, where she was not transparent with him, he obviously didn't know who the name came from, and so when she got exposed and put on blast, and coincidentally, just through basic conversation with her friend, there's a reason she hesitated. There's a reason the friend looked at her crazy and was like, you mean she was shocked that she named her only son after her ex-boyfriend. You know what I mean? And so I can completely understand why this man feels the way he feels. Now, me personally, if that in this type of situation, it brings to mind, okay, what would make a woman name her only son, a married woman, right? What would make a married woman name her only child after an ex? And the obvious answer, or one of the obvious answers, is going to be there's potentially his child. You know what I mean? Like, on top of she may love him, there may be a connection, she may really love the name. You also, at least I would immediately consider, it's possibly his child. So one of the very first things I would do is get a paternity test, just to make sure that he's operating off of facts, because there are going to be a whole bunch of thoughts and what ifs that come to mind when you discover something this significant. You know what I mean? Like, and let's not pretend for 1 second that naming your child is not significant. Women spend months making a decision on naming their child. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But this has been a trending topic all week here. So she just didn't tell him at all, and he has to find out that way after the fact. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's a rough one, bro.
Like, it really is.
Like, because it's not sometimes you can have an issue where y'all went off on each other or said something that was hurtful. You can have a discussion about it and move forward.
Right.
Something like this, I don't really see how you can move forward. Every time he thinks about his child in that scenario, it's going to bring up the drama and cause him to question your loyalty and whether or not he can trust you, which I would argue he can't. You know what I mean? So it
wasn't like you just, like you said, there was no transparency there. It wasn't like, oh, I want to, my ex's name was such and such, and I like the name so much that I want to name my child. And so, that obviously wasn't discussed, while she's pregnant, 3, 4, 5 months into the pregnancy.
Right, and then on top of that, she refuses to talk about it. Like,
oh yeah,
what the fuck? Like, how do you create a massive situation in your marriage and have the audacity to just have I'm not gonna talk about it attitude?
Well, I see what the problem is here. But the problem is, in her mind, she sees nothing wrong with this. She's thinking, this kind of, this is just
well,
okay.
I disagree. If she didn't think there was anything wrong with it, she wouldn't have hesitated when her friend asked the name.
Right.
So she knew it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything, all of her behavior elicits guilt. You know what I mean? Like, she hesitated when she was asked about it. Didn't even say nothing. He had to tell her the name. And then after that, you don't want to discuss it nothing. So you don't want to have to answer no questions, give no explanations, whatever. You sound guilty as hell. And that's even more reason for him to question the paternity, and really it's gonna draw into question everything about the marriage, essentially. So even if she didn't cheat, the situation that she created and the way that she's handling it is going to destroy most marriages.
I mean, because like you said, this is going to be a whole bunch of what ifs here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? And you can't blame them. It's not like she has anything to defend herself on. She's completely in the wrong in this scenario. Even if she didn't cheat. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
not a good look. It's just not a good look whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're talking about trust issues tonight, but once you do something like this that violates the trust your partner has in you, sometimes you never get it back. Sometimes the relationship never recovers. You know what I mean? That's why it's such an important topic. So the last post that I wanted to discuss was a post that I put up that said, listening to respond versus listening to understand. Know the difference. And obviously with the page that I run and the content I discuss, I have a lot of knee-jerk reactions from a lot of women. They get upset, they misinterpret something, they get in their feelings over something that they've experienced, they're bitter over something in the past. So they respond in these extremely hostile ways. And it seems like a lot of them don't even read what was said. Like, they don't read the post, they don't read the caption. They just respond to a trigger word. Like, for example, if there's something about cheating. A lot of women will respond just off seeing the word cheating without even reading or listening to the rest of the video to see what point was being made about cheating. And so it brings to mind, like, the most productive relationships you have with people where you are actually putting forth effort to understand them, where you're making it obvious that you care about their perspective, you care about what they think. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times you don't get that in relationships, and men and women are guilty of this. You know, you listening, and the whole time you just thinking of something to say back. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you lying. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, you interrupting them without allowing them to clearly articulate their thoughts. And that's never the way to really resolve an issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's a relationship where one person gets to voice their opinion and say everything that they want to say, and the other person has a harness on their mouth, or it takes a great deal of energy just to get one point across. Eventually that person's going to get tired of trying. You know what I mean?
I think, a lot of people do that, people will just being combative, arguing with you, and, not trying to understand where your point of view, where you're coming from.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's something frustrating. You know what I mean?
It really is.
And like I said, it changes your desire to resolve issues, to communicate about problems. Because, man, it's a headache trying to go through that. And I like this platform because I get to expose a lot of it. I'm an expert in communication, so I'm able to ask the type of questions that kind of paint a woman in the corner when she's being illogical, or when she's using assumptions to build an argument, when she's using false information or false accusations to try to make a point. Like, it's easy for me to defend myself against that type of stuff. But the average guy It's not. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's angry, especially if he's in the middle of the argument. So a lot of times these scenarios play out where the frustration and anger from you just trying to respond to everything they say or trying to have the last word. You know what I mean? Like all these are symptoms of you was just listening to, and the whole time you were just thinking about what you were gonna say back. And if that's all you're thinking about during an argument or a discussion, you're not getting nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like and that lends itself to having that same problem happen again. If you didn't understand why I got upset or why I made a decision and I can't understand what you are mad about, if you can't acknowledge that you just was in your feelings or you just overreacted, like those are the type of things that the discussion are supposed to be able to iron out. So I can clearly get you to understand why you overreacted, what you could have simply asked me to avoid this argument or this whole situation. Those are the type of things that good communicators do to try to prevent future arguments or conflict in a relationship.
Right. I mean, if you're just like I said, if you're gonna just keep, just to respond and not, you're never gonna have a constructive conversation. If you just listen, thinking of your next response rather than hear what the person is actually saying.
Right. All right, we're about to be moving on. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll be getting into my interview with Jeremy Holloway. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. Thanks for tuning in. All right, everybody, welcome back. You listen to the More Than Love podcast. I have my guest for the night, Jeremy Holloway, on the line. What's going on, Jeremy?
Not much, man. No much. How you doing?
Not much, bro. I appreciate you taking the time out to join the podcast with me. I see you doing your thing on social media, trying to help people understand relationships and have healthier relationships. So I commend you for what you're doing. Before we get started, man, let my listeners and my viewers know a little bit about you and how they can find your content.
Well, I'm an actor from Memphis, Tennessee, and I started doing these videos. Basically, try to help people out. It's basically about life, not just relationships. It's different. I got a lot of different videos that don't really involve relationships, but I kind of try to help people with life. And if you want to check me out, it's at Jeremy L. Holloway on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Jeremy L. Holloway. And I got YouTube channel too, it's the same thing. Everything is at Jeremy L. Holloway.
All right, that's what's up, man. So tonight we're talking about trust issues and how they destroy relationships. So I just had a couple of questions I wanted to run by you, get your perspective on a couple of things, related to that topic. I saw on your page recently you put up a skit where your girl was asking you about going through your phone, and in the skit you gave her your phone, no problem. You handed it to her. You didn't make a commotion or whatnot. You went and got your suitcase and started packing her stuff and was kicking her out. So I wanted to get you to kind of elaborate. Why would a woman asking to go through your phone warrant such an extreme reaction, in your opinion?
Well, honestly, it wasn't. The video is not about a woman going through a phone. It looks like that because Bianca, the actress in the video, she played the female and I played the guy. But at the end, when I talked about the video, I was speaking as a person. If a person goes through your phone, so I didn't want to be like, if a man do this or a woman do this, because at the end of the day, women and men do the same exact thing. But with that video, I made that video. I knew it was gonna be kind of controversial, but the reason why I made that video because people will ask for your phone, and if they do find something, they want to break up with you. If they find out you're cheating on them or something like that, it'll be a big argument. Right. I can't believe you've done this. I want to break up. I would never trust you again. But with that logic, if you find something, we should break up. So with the same logic, if you want to go through my phone and you don't find something, we should still break up. I mean, because at the end of the day, you want to, you don't trust me. Because if I haven't did anything, which is why I was saying at the end on the video, if you have genuinely have done nothing for a person to warrant asking you to go through your phone. See, what people would do is they would look at social media and look at everybody else's relationships, and they'll start to their friends, like, Gary, I went through his phone, and then they will warrant in their mind, maybe I should check his phone to see what I can find. He hasn't done anything or she hasn't done anything, but you let outside people, their issues dictate your relationship. Now you can cause a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
man.
That's kind of why
people do that all the time.
Exactly.
Like you said, letting somebody put a bug in their ear, judging their situation based off what happened with another person's relationship. You know, that's kind of, you would think that's high school behavior, but it's stuff that grown people still do every single day. You know what I mean? Like you said, that something happened with their friend, or they see something on social media, and all of a sudden they try to use that same type of or make an assumption that whatever they saw happening with somebody else is happening in their relationship. And like you said, they try to cheat-proof their relationship. I definitely agree with you with what you said about trust. If you're in a relationship where you don't trust the person that you with, it's going to be very difficult or close to impossible to ever have a healthy relationship. So like you said, I agree with that. If you were with somebody and you can't trust them, or you feel like everything they doing is trying to cheat on you or trying to mess with somebody else, then you're probably in the wrong relationship, or you are not in a position to be in a relationship. Whether you are not healed mentally or emotionally from a past situation, there's something going on that you are not capable of giving the trust necessary in order to have the happily ever after or a long-term type of relationship. So I understood where you were going with it. I just thought it was funny because I don't think any woman that would go through her man's phone, especially if he don't make a fuss out of it, would expect that type of reaction. You know what I mean? Like some people just feel entitled to be able to go through another person's phone or whatnot.
Exactly. And at the end, and this is my thing with the going through the phone thing. The going through the phone thing, which I don't like about it, because it's not just about that you may be hiding something, but I went on my live and talked about this with some followers, and I talked to them and I was like, ladies, when you at the beauty shop, or when you getting your hair done somewhere, it's things that you all talk about that you wouldn't want your man to hear. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing when guys go to the barbershop or whatever. We gotta have guy talk. We want to be comfortable to talk without getting in trouble. And if you guys about to go through your phone, we can't even have conversations with our homies, or they can't have conversations with their woman, with their friends. I mean, just random conversations. You know, one of their friends might be talking about a guy they liked or whatever, and if that's an issue, you can find issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you think he looks good based on what you were telling your friend? Like, we just talking. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people all the time, it's like when people get in relationships, they forget that a person has a life outside the relationship.
Exactly,
you know, you get a relationship, he says it's all about the relationship, but at the end of the day, I still need some time for myself. You know, everybody needs time to themselves at some point. But people feel like, oh, we together, so it's nothing, and that's why it fails, because they get suffocated. You know,
right, man. A lot of people, they don't understand that getting in a relationship does not erase your right to have privacy. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like we all, like you were just mentioning, we all have people that trust us in our personal lives, whether it be somebody from school, whether it be somebody from work, whether it be a cousin. And just because you in a relationship or you having sex with somebody don't mean that they trust that particular person with all their personal business. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be having a private conversation, like you said, just talking about something random, or somebody could be discussing something with you about their life that's extremely personal and they expect to stay private. So if you got a girl and she just going through your phone, screenshotting all your messages or whatnot, that compromises your relationships with other people in your life. And it can have very serious consequences. You know, I had a post on my page a while back where a woman went through her man's phone and saw a conversation between him and his brother, where the brother is married, but he got a baby on the way by a side chick. And the wife actually went and told the man's wife about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so not only did you violate your husband's privacy, you took it upon yourself to interject yourself in some business that did not even involve you. And in situations like that where she may have ruined her marriage or destroyed her marriage over something that wasn't even impacting her directly.
Exactly.
So I guess well, the next question that I had for you, I'm pretty sure I can probably get. I was gonna say, how would you respond if a woman went through your phone behind your back? You know, if she started charging you up or trying to confront you about something that a conversation you had in your phone. How would you handle that?
Well, this is my thing. Honestly, if I had a woman, she would have access to my phone, but I would never let her go through my phone. You know, it's a difference. You can have access to it. So, like, if something's wrong with your phone, something were to happen, you can still use my phone. You know what I'm saying? But she wouldn't have it to, you know, to check up on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have access to my phone, play games and all these things, but I'll have to go into my personal business in my phone. Because you in the phone does not mean, oh, okay, I get to do what I want to do. Because at the end of the day, it's not yours. It's just like if you go to somebody's house and it's not your house, okay, you may do some things that they allow you to do, but you're not gonna just, oh, okay, I'm gonna go in the master bedroom, go through your closet. Like, no, just like, no, you can be in the house, that's cool, you know, be in the living room, but don't go in my master bedroom and going through my closet, my drawers, you know, and going through my personal things, and that's different. So, but if I find that my woman was going through my phone, like, because this is my thing with the phone. The phone is not the issue. People make the phone as the issue. The phone is not the issue. It's whatever made you want to go through the phone, you know. And like, if people go through the phone, huh?
I was gonna say you're right. It's the root cause of it. The going through the phone is a symptom of the insecurity or whatever caused the insecurity.
Exactly. And this is the thing. They like to say, well, I went through the phone because I wanted to know something. Why couldn't you just ask me? You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't you ask me? But you want to go through the phone for yourself, and then you don't find anything. You may not say anything. Why you sneak and do it? So, okay, and that's the thing. Like, if I do let you go through my phone right now, okay, and then the next time you're gonna want to keep going through my phone. You know, it's not gonna stop.
It's a never-ending cycle, bro. Once somebody starts doing that, where they gotta check behind you or they're trying to cheat-proof their relationship. When does it end? Because it's not like you just gonna get to one day you just automatically start trusting them again. Like, that's not typically how it works. And what often happens in a lot of situations is they'll find something and add some assumptions to it or misinterpret something, and now you got an argument or you got beef over something that wasn't even a big deal, something that was probably taken out of context. And
exactly.
So those are, you know, you're opening Pandora's box when you start doing things like that. And that's why people say that eventually it's going to end up destroying your relationship, because when you're treating your spouse like they your child, you know, the way I explain it on my page, look, phones come with parental sensories. Like, you can monitor what your child does. You can check your child's text messages. You can't treat another adult like they're your child and expect to have a healthy romantic relationship with them. That's not going to fly with most people. And so
this is the thing. People, when people told me, because at the end of the video that you referred to, they were like, trust is earned. That's what they were saying. And I said that is true. Trust is earned. But you don't earn somebody. Nobody can earn your trust if you're distrusting them. Now, you may not trust them, but if you distrust them, like, you already saying, I don't trust you. It's a different from just saying,
you're profiling them already.
Exactly.
You're treating them as if they're trying to get over on you or they're doing something wrong instead of giving the benefit of doubt, because that's ultimately what trust is required for. Because when you're in a relationship, if in order for you to actually grow with somebody and build a life with them and be building, you know, your life together, you got to give the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes there are going to be some things where it could have been where they was trying to get over on you, but you got to at least give them the benefit of the doubt to be able to explain the situation or explain what was going on, explain what they were thinking or what information they had at the point where they made a decision. And if you can't do that, then you're wasting your time. You running in place, and you're just basically waiting for something to break up over.
Exactly. That's the thing. You're just waiting for something to happen. That's why you keep checking the phone. Checking the phone does nothing. That was the point of the video. It does nothing because once you don't find anything, then what? Your insecurities or whatever you felt still there. It's still there. It's just okay. You just didn't find nothing in my phone this time. Oh, he probably erased it. And that's what a lot of people were saying. You could just erase it. Exactly. So what's the purpose of going through the phone if I could have erased it already? If I could have got rid of it already, what's the purpose of going through the phone?
Man,
at the end of the day, it does not prove anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that there is a chance where you can find the smoking gun, you can find a video, you can find some receipts as they call them on social media. Like sometimes you can find some concrete evidence that indicates cheating or something else is going on. But like you said, in a lot of cases, they have apps where people can hide text messages and videos. They have all kinds. People can get a second phone. You know what I'm saying? Like people can use their work phone, etc. So it's a lot of different things.
People nowadays are getting those little pay phones. Like you pay by the minute, or you pay the phones you get at Best Buy, like a little flip phone or something. Like if a cheater's gonna cheat, a real cheater, they would never use their phone. Because I tell folks this all the time. How were people cheating back in the day before cell phones?
Right.
It's not hard to cheat, but people make it's the cell phone. And I try to stress to people like, man, if you my woman and you feel like checking my phone is gonna let you know if I'm cheating on you or not, I can cheat on you every single day. If you just think to check the phone, because baby, I don't got to use my phone. You don't have to use the phone. I mean, like, I don't like saying certain things because it's like, I'm giving people ideas. But like, you got guys out here or women out here who would call their friends and have their friend call the guy on three-way, but then she would talk. So the phone never linked up. So you check call logs or whatever. Oh, I was calling my friend. You know her. We talk for an hour or whatever. We talk for 5 minutes. No, they talk to let me know where I'm gonna meet up at. And like, did you say? I see. I just called her, and me and her finna go out, or me and my homies finna go out. But they really called to set something up, and then they, it's so many different ways you can cheat. If a person want to cheat, they'll cheat. And my thing is, it's so much energy to try to find somebody cheating, especially if they not. Well,
all right, man. Looks like we up against the clock. I appreciate you coming on the show, Jeremy. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate the love.
No problem, man. No problem. Thanks for having me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. All right, man. That was a pretty interesting conversation with Jeremy, man. I wanted to get your thoughts, Jay. How do you feel about a woman violating your privacy or going through your phone? What are your thoughts on that?
Like me, philosophically, I'm just against doing stuff like that. Women should not go through a man. So, I mean, if you have to do that, then what's really the point of being with somebody? Like, what are you trying to get accomplished? Like, because you looking through his phone just means you don't trust him.
Right. I mean, and like a lot of times, it especially doesn't make sense if you know you're going to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know good and well you're not going nowhere, and you are searching for drama, you are going through their messages, you're going through their emails, you are looking for something to either prove you right and verify that something wrong, or you looking for something to misunderstand or misinterpret. So it could be a basic conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like the problem with all these privacy issues is a person could curve somebody and still have drama on their hands. You know what I mean? Like that's
they gonna think, oh well, why she want to get with you anyway?
Why you talking to him in the first place? Why you text back? You should have just did this. Like it opens up this what you should have done type of conversation. You know what I mean? If the person don't catch you actually cheating. So it's like there's no real upside to it, because even if you go through their phone, like Jeremy was saying, if you go through their phone and don't find nothing, that's not gonna stop you from going through their phone again. You're gonna be telling yourself, oh, they just deleted it. Oh, they just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so a person with an insecure mindset is never going to be able to really prosper in a relationship. And you'll see why once we start breaking down some of the symptoms or signs of insecurity. So since we're talking about insecurity tonight, I wrote down some notes, did some research on insecure behavior, signs that you see somebody exhibit that give you an indication that they may have trust issues or be insecure. One of the now these aren't ranked; these are just 10 different things, right? All right, so number one, they're real defensive. They get offended by things. They take things as if you're trying to attack them. They have a real pessimistic attitude towards their spouse, right? That's one of the signs of somebody that is insecure, that has some type of internal issue with the relationship or with themselves that causes them to create chaos within a relationship, right? So they're real defensive. You ask them something, you could just be asking because you want to know. They'll take it as if you're trying to insult them or you have a problem with them, etc. So you can see these type of behaviors exhibit themselves all the time. They're really controlling. One of insecure person, they fear being cheated on, being left, right? Or somebody stealing you away from them. And so they're trying to cheat-proof the relationship by controlling what you do, who you talk to, where you go, who you interact with, etc. Who you follow, who, you know what I'm saying, like who follow you. These type of people try to control as many aspects of your life as they can, because in their mind, that's how they guarantee that you won't cheat on them or leave them. And that obviously doesn't work. In most cases, it actually does the opposite, because people that feel caged in or feel smothered want to get out that situation. That's not a sign of a healthy relationship.
Right. And some of those don't really serve as any kind, like if somebody's going to cheat, they're going to cheat. None of those are going to serve as any kind of deterrent there.
Yeah, there's never a way to cheat-proof a relationship. You know what I mean? All you can do is try to create the type of environment or the type of relationship where your spouse doesn't feel it's worth it to cheat.
Right.
When they're in a position where somebody's curving them or they turned on, they're thinking about what they have and how much they don't want to lose it, instead of the pleasure that they can get at that particular moment. And you have a lot of control over that. You have a lot of control over how your partner feels about your relationship. And like I said, a lot of people have the wrong idea of what a healthy relationship is. You know, some people, all they know is dysfunction. And so for me personally, a healthy relationship means both people are having their primary needs met. Everything else they're able to come up with agreeable compromises on, where you're not angry, you're not secretly resenting the person, you're actually happy with the decisions y'all make, where y'all live, where y'all, you know what I'm saying, like what city y'all, all these type of major decisions, right? And then on top of that, you're obviously still attracted to them physically and sexually. But the most important thing is your partner has to know that they can communicate with you on if they have a problem, and you are going to put genuine effort into resolving the problem. That's the missing component in a lot of relationships. Because a lot of people can go voice their concerns to their partner and it's in one ear and out the other, instead of seeing genuine effort, seeing them actually engage in a conversation where they're trying to understand, where they're trying to prevent it from happening or prevent you from feeling that way in the future. Giving you clarity on something that you may have misunderstood so that you don't misunderstand it in the future. Those are the kind of key components you seek in a healthy relationship. That's a relationship that's kind of like an SUV. Is built to withstand unpleasant or unforeseen circumstances. So because that's what you're going to get when you're in a long-term relationship. A lot of unexpected things come up. A lot of unpleasant things come up. And if you're the type of person that deals with it in a chaotic way, like the man that we mentioned in the top 3 where he just left his wife at a restaurant. Like, if you got somebody that handle crisis or drama like that, that's not gonna last. How many times is somebody gonna realistically forgive something like that? Most people wouldn't even forgive that first time.
Right, exactly. That's like the cardinal sin for women is embarrassing them in public. I mean, that's for most women, that's pretty much the cardinal sin there.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's very crucial. You know what I mean? At least I'm glad he was smart enough to anonymously post the situation.
Right.
Let's see, what else did I have on the list? All right, another sign of insecurity. Somebody that constantly belittles or talks down on others. You know, the person that has to make somebody else look bad or embarrass somebody else to make themselves look good.
Right.
That's a sign of insecurity. You know, that kind of attitude where you're going to build yourself up at the expense of somebody else. That's whack.
That's really corny. That's the guy that likes to just one up everybody.
Yeah, man, it's super corny. You know what I mean? You don't want to have somebody that has to create negativity in order for them to feel positive. Like, think about that. Like, what kind of person gets a boost out of only making other people feel bad? You should feel good about what you do, what your accomplishments are, what your credentials are. Like, a secure person is confident in themselves because of what they've already done, who they are as a person. They don't need the outside validation to make them feel good. That's a sign of...
And that's never a good formula for a relationship, especially, if you're doing that with your partner there, if you're trying to one up your partner or put down your partner. I mean, that's never going to work there.
Yeah, man, it's going to destroy the love. You know what I mean? Like, you're creating an environment where they don't feel comfortable with you. They don't want to, open up to you because of the ridicule. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where a lot of people that are in those situations or that have to deal with it are only doing so because they're forced to. And you know what I'm saying? And we talked about that with the domestic violence or situations where a person's not in a position to leave. They're dependent on you for something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way people really get in a position to be able to talk crazy to their spouse. Most people, if they're in a position to leave, they're not going to deal with that. You know what I mean? Let's see. Another thing, the next point with number 5, they need constant validation. That's why a lot of the women that have to post their ass on the gram and do stuff, thirst traps for likes, they need that validation. They need to be told they sexy. They need to see emojis. They need to get compliments because they're not secure within themselves for a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like, insecurity can manifest itself in lots of different ways, and that's one of them. People that
those attention whores that, like you said, post and have negative likes, but would be the same one saying, "Oh, why all these dudes in my inbox?" or this, either that or they're fluttering their eyebrows because that's the same one that says, "Oh, how many dudes want me? How many dudes want to get with me?" Like we talked about it a bunch of shows where women confuse, being fuckable and being wifeable.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Just because a dude want to fuck it's nothing to be,
But I mean, you can spot the insecure dude too. Always got to brag about how much he make. Always got to brag about what jewelry he got on, how much he spent on this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, other dudes that got money are not really impressed by that, and you don't see them have to do that. Like, I don't need to tell you how much my outfit costs for me to feel like my outfit's the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I got on a cheap outfit or an outfit I got for the low, I'm still confident in me, so I don't need you to validate it.
Right. That's the one that's posting the whole, they got to posting money or posting what bottles they're popping in the club. They're rosé.
Doing the most.
Ace of spades.
And a lot of times they don't even have it like that. They flexing for somebody else to impress somebody else. All right, let's see. Number 6. They try to guilt trip you over basic things. Make you feel guilty about hanging out with your partners. make you feel guilty about participating in the event that they weren't able to attend or weren't invited to. Like they guilt trip you over little things like that to try to get you to kiss up to them. You know what I mean? Like these are the type of things that can fall under the category of passive aggressive behavior as well. But it's something internal about them makes them require that attention from you. You know what I mean? Makes them have a problem with you enjoying other people. Makes you want to only have fun with them. Want you to only enjoy being around them. You know, those are signs of insecurity, and they kill relationships over time. You get tired of dealing with that. Number 7, they constantly overreact to things. They make a big deal out of basic interactions. Oh, you were smiling at the waitress. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she commented on 3 of your pictures. Like, they overreact to basic things out of their insecurity, their fear of you leaving them for somebody else, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you cheating on them. Let's see. What else did we have? The blame game. Whenever they have a problem, they blame somebody else. You know, they deflect. They don't take accountability for their own behavior.
Doesn't say lack of accountability.
Yeah, lack of accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. You know what I mean? They find a, you know, being an adult, man, we all make some dumb mistakes. Sometimes stuff don't go as we planned it. As long as you own it, you should be good. You own it. You apologize. You make amends or attempt to make amends when you mess up. That's really all anybody expects from you. So if you are dealing with somebody where it's always somebody else's fault, there's something going on with that person.
That means they're just another one that's very insecure,
Yep.
or just some kind of egomaniac or narcissistic or something.
Right. So let's see. Number 9, I had they don't allow you to honestly discuss the relationship. Like a lot of people try to go to their spouse with these problems. They try to have these discussions, but they either turn into arguments, they bring up stuff to deflect or redirect the conversation. But it's almost impossible to have honest, transparent conversations about the relationship, how you feel about it, what you want to fix, etc. because of how they're going to handle it. You know, I mentioned earlier that they feel attacked. They feel any criticism is an attack on them. So talking to them about things that you're unhappy with or things that you're having an issue with can create drama or create a chaotic situation that a lot of people learn to avoid. They just start to feel like, man, it ain't even worth going through all that over. And that's how you get this built up resentment, unresolved issues, etc. Let's see. And the last thing that I had, number 10, one real annoying sign of an insecure person, they will try to completely merge their life with yours. They want to go everywhere you go. They want to do everything you do. They want to be around everybody you want to be around. Part of that is trying to monitor you. If they're around you 24/7, that means that you can't be with somebody else or doing something to cheat on them or violate the relationship. And so they have this type of smothering attitude where I'm just going to make sure we go. If you want to go to the club, I'm going to the club. You want to go, you know, everybody's seen that person that shows up to girls' night or guys' night and your spouse came along and you're the only person with your spouse. That's insecurity. You know what I'm saying? That spouse that is not willing to let you go hang out with your boys or go out on a girls' night, if they have to be there to be able to feel comfortable, that's a sign of insecurity and a lack of trust.
Who wants to be with their body for a whole 24 hours here, doing everything that they do, doing every little activity they doing you want to do? I mean,
I don't get it, bro. I don't understand how somebody could even function like that. You know what I mean? Like, where you gotta do everything with your spouse, like, what kind of life did you have before you got with that person?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have no friends, you didn't have no hobbies, you didn't have nothing you like to do that you just enjoy doing. Like, that's part of the dating process. You want to put somebody up on what you do. Oh, I like to go to Top Golf. I like to do this. Sometimes we bowl. I'm competitive. Sometimes we shoot pool. Like, name the type of stuff you like to do so we don't always have to You don't have to always tag along with me. You should have your own circle of friends. Now, should our circle of friends overlap to some degree? Yes.
Yeah, to a degree.
But not 100%. Your man shouldn't want to hang out with every single female you hang out with. And you shouldn't want to hang out with every dude he hang out with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, your immediate friends, your best friends, your sister and brother and his wife, like, those are the type of events where you go where they're couple events. You know, once you're married or once you have a family, somebody invites you to something. Hey, this kid friendly. Hey, this family friendly. We bringing our wives or we bringing our girls. Like, you start to categorize events based off who you're gonna be socializing with. And so, if somebody is trying to overstep their bounds and completely overtake your life, that's a relationship that's doomed to fail. So, hopefully, those of you that are tuned in can take something away from this. Something you may know somebody that may be dealing with insecurity or dealing with a spouse that's insecure. You can point them in a direction to try to get some assistance or maybe try to make an exit out the relationship. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you download the past episodes and subscribe to the podcast. It's available at iTunes and Google Play, wherever podcasts are found. Jay, man, I appreciate you. Another quality episode down the drain.
Another great show here.
All right, man. It's been another episode of More Than Love Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
These birds copy every word, every inch. But gang got the hammer and the wrench.